Oh. Let's add custom villagers to Minecraft. More in-depth topics for Minecraft modding available in the 121 modding courses linked below, covering writable and tameable entities, custom entity armor, and even custom entity inventories, among many more awesome topics. Oh, all right, we find ourselves back in IntelliJ once more. Are we going to keep this as an intro? Yes, we're going to keep it as an intro, okay? Sometimes you got to laugh about this whole situation, okay? We're going to add custom villagers to Minecraft over here, and you'll see this is way more straightforward than one might think. Now for this, we're going to need, well, sort of two different things. I'm going to basically add those in the tutorial mod package. We're going to make a new package called Villager, and inside of there, we'll make a new Java class called the Mod Villagers class. Now, like I said here, we actually need to register two different things, and for that, we're going to need two deferred registers. Now, I'm going to be copying over parts of this class because it's just a little bit easier, and as per usual, as always, all of the code is available to you down below in the description, so you can double check it there. Basically, it's linked in the GitHub repository. And here, of course, the first two steps, very straightforward. We simply make two deferred registers, one of POI type for the point of interest, and the other one for the villager profession. I'll explain this in just a second when we actually use those. But of course, if you have deferred registers, then what you need is a public static void register method with an event bus called event bus over here, where we'll take the POI types and we're going to call the register method, passing in the event bus. And we'll also do the same thing with the villager profession over here, passing in the event bus right here as well. And let's first of all, in the tutorial mod class, call this mod villagers.register mod event bus. And now we have this done and the registration is over. And then we get to the POI. So the POI we're going to start off with, and we're going to do the following thing. I'm going to copy this over and explain the entirety of the code, and you'll see that it looks crazier than it actually is. So let's actually format this like this. I think that's okay. Of course, we have a public static final registry object of POI type. Now, what is the POI type? Let's start there. It is a point of interest type. And the idea is that we're going to define a point of interest where this particular villager can get the profession from, because that's basically how professions work, right? If we were to control left click on this or just go into the villager profession class, you can see that each of them has a POI type associated with it, basically, which is the definition of the block where they can get their profession, right? Like, for example, the farmer, the POI type of farmer, if we were to control left click on this and we were to, I think, go down right here, you can see that this would be the block states of the composter. Obviously, because the farmer gets the job from the composter block. And that is how that works. Now, you can see here, we're making a new POI type, and the POI type that we're making has an immutable set with the mod blocks, share, get, state definitions, or state definition, and then get possible states. Now, the reason why this crazy stuff is in here is because of the following thing. When you set down a chair specifically, and this is actually why this block is perfect for this demonstration, we have the chair block, if you remember, this is a horizontal direction block, meaning the block state of it can take all sorts of forms because the facing property can change. Therefore, we need to get all possible states in here, and then all states, regardless of if I set down the chair facing north, south, west, or east, it's always going to be a POI type. And then we have a valid range, so basically it's the actual villager has to stand next to it, and then there's only one ticket. If you had two tickets, then two villagers could take the same profession from the same POI. That's the POI, and that's the first step of this. The second one is the villager profession, also going to be copied over, but once again, we're going to go through it entirely. This is going to be the Kaupenjoe, and yeah, that's going to be a thing. And basically here, we have two predicates, so we can, if we hover over this, we can see the second and the third parameter here that we have to pass in are predicates, and those basically just say, hey, what is the POI type that we need? That's basically, highest level overview. That is basically what we're doing over here. So we're saying, hey, we're basically looking for the Kaupen POI type in this case, which is going to be our chair. Then we have two immutable sets that are empty. The reason why we have this, once again, if we go into the villager profession over here, we can see that those are going to be the requested items and the secondary POI. In our case, we don't have either of those, but I highly recommend you can always take a look at the different POI types, or rather the villager professions from vanilla. You can see that obviously the farmer, right, has some wheat and bone meal and stuff like that, and the farmland is the secondary POI type. But in our case, the villager is just going to stay right where he's at, and he's going to work at the chair in this case. And then here, the mod sound is just the sound that the work makes, as well as when the villager takes its profession. And that's it. That is basically the entirety of the code done. Now, that is not the entirety of the adding of villagers done, because we still need something in the assets as well as the data. First and foremost, translation. That's going to be entity.minecraft.villager.tutorialmod.kaupenjoe, and that, of course, translates to Kaupenjoe. We do need to do this, otherwise, when we open the inventory of the Kaupenjoe, it would get the untranslated name, which is, of course, not something we want. We then also need a texture, and oh, by golly, is it going to be a great texture. Under tutorial mode, textures entity. We're going to make a new directory called villager, and then instead of there, another new directory called profession. Yes, there we go. That seems right. And then here, we're going to copy over the kaupenjoe.png, of course, available to you for download. And yes, this is basically me as a freaking villager. It is, yeah, let's just let it stand right there. Let's just not even comment on this, but do note that the spelling here is obviously important. The name of the PNG has to be the same name given right here. That is very important, otherwise it's not going to work. Same, of course, with the placement of the PNG file. As per usual, all of this has to be exactly correct. And then the last thing, which is super important, is the tag. Under data, Minecraft, super important. Data, Minecraft tags. Here, we're going to make a new folder, and now note, or the best thing is actually go to the description, go into the GitHub repository, and actually go on there and copy over the name, because the name of the folder inside of data Minecraft tags, new directory, is going to be point_of_interest underscore type. There we go. Point of interest type. There we go. That's correct. And then inside of there, a new file called acquirable_job_site.json. Listen, okay? That's crazy names. Super easy to make a typo in there. That is why I basically always recommend just copy over the names, make sure that they're written correctly. If it does not work, if the villager does not take on the job, then it can only be that there's, I mean, obviously there's a typo somewhere, right? That's just basically what it comes down to. And the contents of this are basically just a tag, right? So we're not going to replace it. And we're going to say that the values here are the Kaupenjoe, and it is not required. I'm not quite 100% sure why we do the required false. I don't think we need to do this, but there might have been an issue at some point. There's a lot of changes in the different versions, so I'm not always quite sure, but I think that we do need to do this. Let's just keep it like this. It doesn't really make it worse. If it works, then it works fine, right? That's going to be okay. But yeah, here, of course, once again, your mod ID and then the Kaupenjoe right here has to have the same name as we're registering the poi right here. I think that should be basically pretty sensible and pretty understandable, but there we go. And now we finally have everything we need. We need the tag, obviously. We need the texture, and then the mod villagers class with all of its stuff in there. Now, the villager is not going to have any trades. We're going to do that in the next tutorial, so do keep that in mind. But for the time being, I think let's jump into the game and see if it works. All right, fans, we're back in Minecraft. Now, we have a lot of chairs over here already, and if I start spawning villagers, they should go to them, and look at this. It's all a bunch of me's. Oh, God. Yeah, I feel the same way. Anyway, there we go. And if I right-click them, you can see they don't have any trades right now, so they're just shaking their heads. Like I said, the traits we're going to add in the next tutorial, but for the time being, we've added custom villager types to Minecraft. Pretty freaking cool. Really? Rain? Really? And there we have it, custom villagers. Like I said, all of the code is available to you down below in the GitHub repository as per usual, but that's going to be it for this tutorial right here. Next time, we're going to add custom villager traits. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.